This is Dave Palumbo with RxMuscle.com in the Iron Asylum with Robert Wichman. We are here less than a week out from the 2012 NPC Junior USA. We're going to be doing a little arm training here at Extreme Family Fitness in Lee's Summit, Missouri. Welcome, Robert.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dave Palumbo.
Let's talk a little bit about your history, because some of the people on RX might not remember you or be familiar with you, but you won the Muscle Mayhem last year, the overall.
Yep.
You placed fourth at the Junior USA in the middleweight class. You're staying as a middleweight this year, going back to this Junior USA. I'm assuming the goal is to win.
Yeah, definitely the goal is to win. So what I really focused on this year, while staying in the middleweight class, what I've done is I've really tried to hone my physique, bring up some parts that I felt like needed some improvements, and then I'm looking just to really bring a nice full and more detailed package than I did before, and I think I'm going to bring in one of my more leanest physiques that I've ever had.
Well, lean usually wins, in my book at least, especially at that junior level. And talk to me about what you like about that Junior USA, because I always loved that show too, and a lot of guys avoid it. What do you like about it, and what makes you keep coming back? Trey Bennett, he really runs a really good show. I mean, you can't complain about anything that really goes on there. So I really like how the shows run, and then the other thing that I like is that it gets you an early start in the competitive season. Sure.
I've mapped out what I have to do for this national season, and I've got 3 shows on the page. And I start off with the Junior USAs, and I think that's really going to give me a chance to get out there and get me in front of some of those judges early in the season, so that they can see what I'm bringing, and then just keep improving on that physique as the season goes.
A lot of people, though, don't like the diet so early in the season, because it means they have to start dieting over the winter, and God forbid, you miss a holiday meal or something like that. People want to kill themselves. You don't mind that, huh?
No, I mean, and that's one of the things that, I sometimes have a problem with, is that, people like to be bodybuilders only 2 or 3 months out of the year. And I don't see how that really would work. I believe that if you're a bodybuilder, you're a bodybuilder, and a bodybuilder should be a bodybuilder 12 months out of the year, not just 3 or 4 months out of the year.
That's right. Look at this. We're doing this interview on Mother's Day. Who cares, right? It's just another day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my wife's 100% supportive. She's in the gym industry just as much as I am. I mean, that's our second home, and she's the same way I am. Our son's the same way, even though he's only 2.5. I mean, he's a fitness guy too. But we eat clean year round, and if I'm going to be bulking or trying to add some size, I don't just get off my diet. But what I do is I add in more clean calories, because I'm a firm believer of, junk in, junk results, and good things in, you're going to get good results.
Right. Well, that's definitely what's necessary to achieve a high level of success in the bodybuilding industry, that's for sure. Let's talk a little bit about arm training. First of all, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6", right on the button.
All right, so you're 5'6". You're really suffering to make this middleweight class. I'm assuming at some point in the future you're going to probably want to move up to that light heavyweight.
Yeah, because I really suck it down, and, all my clients, because I'm a personal trainer, all my clients, they can really tell once I start getting closer and closer to that show, because, my cheekbones and my face just starts really to shrink wrap around, and, so I'm really interested in trying over the next season in 2013 of going to a legitimate light heavyweight, and seeing what with my symmetry and the balance that I'm able to bring, and see what a bigger, fuller package would look like on this frame.
What's I guess the question I ask is, because a lot of people have different types of jobs. You luckily have the luxury of being able to set your schedule, but how many clients do you actually train a day?
Realistically, it's like in the mid to upper teens per day.
Wow, that's a lot.
I get to the facility at about 4:50 in the morning. The doors open at 5. I like to be there before anybody else gets there. I'll run until about 10:30. I'll train myself. train somebody else, a client, from 12 to 1, go home, take a nap, come back, and then start back at 4 o'clock, and I'll go until about 7 p.m., and that's Monday through Friday, and then I've got a little deal with my wife and family and stuff like that I take the weekends off, and that's just personal time. Right. And Monday through Friday, it's sun up to sundown.
That's hardcore. I got to tell you, I take my hat off to you. I don't know how I don't think I could do it. You're a better man than I am. Let's talk about the arm training. You got a good pair of arms on you, very balanced. You seem to do a lot of mixture of free weight, cable exercises. How do you structure this arm routine? And if someone's out there is watching this and wants to emulate it, what do you say are the paramount points that people should pay attention to?
The thing that I really try to focus on, like you said, is creating balance to all aspects of the bicep, the tricep, all of that, because I want to have good symmetry, top to bottom, left to right, and so I'm focusing on peak, on width, but my main thing, if you're going to pick up one thing out of all the sets and the lifts and stuff like that, it's going to be that I'm always trying to use the utmost of form. I'm trying to keep everything strict, and I'm trying to have good control, because I don't see a reason to just be slinging the weight around, If you're looking at development, then I'm going to get good development from controlling the weight, but also I'm going to have good longevity because I'm not going to tear myself up, joint and tendons and stuff like that.
Gotcha. To that light heavyweight class, you might have to change that whole paradigm that you set up for yourself. You might have to push some heavyweights.
Just a little. And that's where, having a good partner is really paying off because, I've always burned partners out. A partner comes in, I wear them out, and then I go back on to my own.
Why is that? Why is that, Rob? Why do you go through training partners? Is it your fault or is it their fault?
Maybe a little both. I could probably be, a little demanding, and I could probably be a little, egocentric and stuff like that. Like, I'm focused on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But a lot of time, that's what a partner comes in for, because they're looking to train with me, not me train with them. And the problem is that, it can be a pretty demanding schedule to keep with me because, I like to move and I like to go hard and stuff like that, even though we're keeping everything controlled. And, sometimes I think partners jump in and they don't realize what they might be getting into. And
you might be a little too anal for their liking, but you do train consistently at the same time every day. So I mean, it's not like people are going to be worried that you're not going to show up. I would love to train with someone like you because you're always going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't have anywhere to go. I just walk like 10 feet, and there I am.
That's right. Talk to me a little bit about, I'm watching you do some skull crushers here, and your form is just, like, impeccable. I mean, people should watch this. This should be the textbook form of skull crushers. Has this been always an exercise that you really focused on using the proper techniques for?
Well, the funny thing is that... I'm always changing what stations I'm doing. Now, everybody's got their favorites, so I'm always tossing in one or two that I really like, but I'm always mixing it up, too. So with the skull crushers, I've been through where I've had tendon problems and stuff like that in my biceps and my triceps, and I've just learned over time that I got to keep that form super strict. Otherwise, I can really feel it getting out of that muscle head and going where it shouldn't be. So it's kind of like one of those things over the years of just learning. Plus, considering the fact that I'm training my own clients in the gym, if I'm telling them to do something, I got to do it the same way. Otherwise, it's just not going to be.
Especially since you're in the same gym doing it, they're going to see you if you're not doing it.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute, he told me to keep everything real tight, and there he is, like, slinging it all over the place.
Exactly. How fast do you move between exercises? Do you take a lot of rest? Do you go very quickly? What's the rest break?
This year I've actually slowed it down. Last year I would whittle that time down, 15 seconds every 4 weeks. And this year I kept it, if we were keeping track, it's probably like 45 to 60 seconds. Because if you got a workout partner in there, I can't necessarily jump right in the middle of their set. So... you know.
What's the
Keep it
advantage
moving.
of going faster in your mind, other than getting the workout over quicker?
I feel like if I get too much rest, I feel like I just lose that intensity that I'm feeling in the muscle and stuff like that. I feel like it's cooling down too much. So, in the off season, it is a little bit slower than it is contest time, but I really like to keep that high intensity. I feel like the muscle just gets a good pump, and I'm pushing a lot of blood in there and really stretching things out.
Do you feel that the weights suffer when you move faster?
They can a little bit. So, when it comes time for that 2013 bump, we might slow things back down, maybe pull a little bit of volume out.
And how much cardio did you find that you had to do this time around to get down to weight?
Well, it's a funny thing. I actually did less cardio, and I'm leaner than I did last year. The first 4 weeks, I did no cardio. The middle 4 weeks, I did 30 minutes, 5 days a week, and I keep kind of like a moderate intensity. I'm doing about 119 or so beats a minute.
But you're still you're under the 130 mark, so that's good.
Yeah, and then I on the last 4 weeks, it's just no cardio again.
Gotcha. Okay, so you kind of now. Do you have problem making weight if you don't?
Actually, I find that I'm actually getting more rest, and with that more rest, I feel like my body actually works for me. Just like Chris Aceto says, I feel like by resting that body and not beating it down, it's actually responding better. Having that super strict diet, like we talked about earlier, really makes a difference, and I feel like I have more energy, and my body responds better instead of being in that overtraining state and then just saying, well, what can you do? You're getting ready for a show. Just keep going all out.
Well, you look great. I suspect you're going to do very well at the Junior USA this coming Saturday. Good luck. For now, though, we're out of time. I'm Dave Palumbo with Robert Wichman in the Iron Asylum.